It's the Weekend Experience with Cabahug, Daly, Lindsay Gorsen, Collin and Asad Bakari. Live from Studio 3 in Annenberg Hall, it's the Weekend Experience.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Weekend Experience. I'm Collin Taylor.
And I'm Asad Bakari. California Representative and John Cena Mulaney lookalike Eric Swalwell joined the 2020 presidential race, making him the 18th candidate to run as a Democrat. His platform focuses on gun reform, healthcare, and merging Halloween and Thanksgiving. I guess he's going to call it Thanks, Ween.
Kim Jong-un gives Donald Trump until the end of the year to change his attitude on the North Korea nuclear talks. That's like O.J. Simpson telling Ray Rice to stop beating women. Scientists have found ancient bones and teeth that they claim could possibly be from humans. I'm required to say that this is in fact a tooth. TUTV would not let us use this picture unless we told you it was a tooth. Replicas of these will be sold in local condom kingdoms.
A few weeks ago, scientists captured the first ever image of a black hole. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed. It's 2019 and this picture is blurry as hell. You might as well have taken it vertically with a bunch of filters on it. Oculus included creepy messages in thousands of touch controllers by mistake. The company blamed the incident on their newest intern, Joe Biden.
Speaking of making people uncomfortable, we toss it now to Patrick Cabahug with the new segment we like to call the Joe Biden Challenge.
Thank you, Asad and Collin. I'm out here at Temple University campus, and I am here to discuss and ask questions to students about what are their thoughts on Joe Biden inappropriately touching women. I'm with Matt, and he has his own. Have you ever been personally touched by Joe Biden?
No, I have not been personally touched by Joe Biden, but I've seen him touch.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, what would you do if Joe Biden touched you?
I'd hug him right back. You know, he's the next presidential candidate.
Who? Is that a singer?
You know that he was the vice president when Obama was in office?
Who?
Miss, excuse me.
Hi.
Would you give me your recent, your opinions on Joe Biden's allegation?
Well, let's see. You know what? I think everyone needs to stop being so sensitive.
Quick, Biden or Trump?
Biden.
Does Joe Biden make you feel uncomfortable?
Would it make you feel comfortable if I started sniffing your hair and touching you?
No.
And give the people who have actually been sexually assaulted a chance to speak up and be heard and be appreciated. And you know what? Joe Biden has been through a hell of a time, and he's a great person, and he would be a great president. Goodbye.
So, does this make you feel uncomfortable?
A little bit, because we never met. But I feel like if you were someone people knew, like a vice president, president, I don't think it'd be that much of a problem.
A little uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Even had that on my shoulder.
And the mic a little further from my mouth.
What comes to mind when you hear these words? Shoulder, touching, hugging, little girl.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
I'd probably say Joe Biden, maybe R. Kelly as well.
Definitely Joe Biden.
Yeah, definitely Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Okay.
Joe Biden.
Drake.
That's all we have for today. I'm Patrick Cabahug on Temple campus. Back to you, Asad and Collins.
Thanks, Patricks. MLB player Chris Crush Davis is currently on an 0 for 53 hitting streak spanning back to last season. There's one positive to this. He's batted 3 runners in. This is like going to the bar, getting 3 hot girls' numbers, and then never calling them. You're still batting 0.
With more on sports, here's Matthew Daly.
Thanks, guys. We're entering a sports fan's heaven. Baseball season is back in full swing, so get ready to take a nap during the middle innings. The NFL draft is right around the corner, so we will find out which 21-year-old quarterback will set their teams back 10 years. The NHL playoffs are about to start, if anybody cares, and the NBA playoffs tip off in just 5 days. But I'm about to ruin all that excitement for you. That's right, what I'm about to tell you is not a prediction, it's a spoiler. The Golden State Warriors are going to win the NBA championship for the third straight year. You don't believe me? Let's run through each conference and the rest of the playoff teams starting in the West. All 8 spots are locked. The only thing that can change is the seeding of these teams. The top team is the Golden State Warriors, and after a season filled with tension and turmoil amongst star players and what looked like the Warriors taking a James Harden step back,
it looked like Harden did 2 step backs. That's a travel.
was really just Kevin Durant's Twitter stirring up drama. Will he leave? Will he stay? Does anyone really care? Now let's look at some of their competition, if you want to call it that, within the West. We start with the Denver Nuggets. I personally didn't expect them to have this great of a year, but they did. Let's face it, they have one guy, the angriest player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic.
Man, oh man. That's a huge, huge loss for the Nuggets. All your Jokic wanted a foul. Oh, he's got tossed down now. Oh my gosh.
Maybe him screaming at the refs got them the second seed, but it sure isn't going to get them a championship. The next team we will look at is the Los Angeles Clippers. Just kidding, they don't deserve any attention. All they ever will be is LA's side John. Let's look at the Thunder. Boom! 2 of the best players in the league, Paul George and Leonardo the Ninja Turtle, Russell Westbrook. Now to the team I think will meet the Warriors in the conference finals, the Houston Rockets. Fear the beard. More like fear the traveling violations that won't get called.
Magically get from half court to the 3-point line without dribbling. Wait, I didn't see that. Let me see that again. That's not actually a travel. Yeah,
Let's shift our attention to the potential opponents from the Eastern Conference. As you see here, there are actually 10 teams, because the 9th and 10th teams are still mathematically alive to make the playoffs. But in the East, the only true threats are teams 1 through 4. Let's look at these teams and why they won't be able to stand up to the Warriors. First, the Milwaukee Bucks. They might have a living, breathing Greek god on their team in Giannis Antetokounmpo, but if they don't have 4 other Greek gods, they have no shot. On to the Toronto Raptors, and Philadelphia-born choke artist Kyle Lowry has a history of struggling to get over the hump in the playoffs. And a guy in Kawhi Leonard, who the quicker his postseason is over, the quicker he can book it from the 6 to Hollywood next season. Now the Boston Celtics. This team is interesting because they can show flashes of brilliance with all that talent, but they have just been so inconsistent. Maybe that's what happens when you depend on a star player that thinks the earth is flat. And now the team I think will meet the Warriors in the finals are the Philadelphia 76ers, but they will wind up losing to them for several reasons. One, their star center is a bully who would rather tweet at the big guys than face them on the court. Plus, their other star player hasn't made a free throw since his days down under, mate, and he has that Kardashian-Jenner curse staring at him from courtside every game. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why the Warriors will win their 3rd championship in a row. And remember, that's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Collin and Asad, back to you.
Thanks, Matt, for that wonderful report. A father in Washington, D.C. left his iPad with his son for too long. His 3-year-old locked him out for 47 years, which is roughly 25.5 million minutes.
This leads me to ask, who was angrier, the dad who couldn't check his fantasy baseball team, or the mom when she realized how long her husband left their 3-year-old alone? A man with a bizarre horse fetish gets caught twice in 24 hours for public masturbation. When questioned, he told authorities he was feeling sexy. When asked his motives the second time, he spoke only in the lyrics of Old Town Road. The remix, of course.
But seriously, by the looks of this guy, is anyone really surprised? I say to you, horny horseman, have you heard of the internet? And in an interview with Ellen, Chelsea Handler said she's sexually attracted to Robert Mueller. Well, at least somebody's happy to be screwed by the government.
With more on entertainment news, here's Lindsay.
Thanks, guys. Chelsea was actually here in Philly this past weekend, and her hotel put pictures of Robert Mueller in her room because they had also heard that. Anyway, there is so much going on in entertainment these days, it's getting really hard to keep up with it all. Between Game of Thrones and Marvel taking over the world, let's begin with the college admissions scandal. Lori Loughlin continues to face charges for bribing USC to get her daughter in. Tensions are running high now that Aunt Becky pleaded not guilty. Maybe she's now finally realizing everywhere you look, there may not be a hand to hold. Kourtney Kardashian opened up about co-sleeping with her children on her new website, Poosh. First of all, Poosh, that makes me want to poosh you off the bed. Hopefully in 20 years, we don't have another HBO documentary called Escaping Kardashian Land. This makes people wonder, when her Scott and Sophia Richie go away together, are they all sharing a bed? That would be awkward, but I'm also kind of jealous. Paramount has announced that they are in the works on a prequel to Grease called Summer Nights, which would get into the summer Danny and Sandy spent together before the school year. I don't know why anyone would need this, as they give everything away what happens when they sing the song. We know Summer Lovin' had them a blast. Summer Lovin' happened so fast, they got dirty down in the sand. But what about a sequel, Born to Hand Jive, which follows Cha-Cha De Gregorio on her mission to be the best hand jiver in the world? Vinny and Pauly D from Jersey Shore are on a new Bachelor-type show called Double Shot at Love on MTV. Pauly said the house is a wide variety of girls, but MTV reports say that the thoughts have been pulled mainly from the tri-state area. So I'm sure they will be similar to the ladies we're used to seeing on Jersey Shore, but of course, absolutely no grenades. Speaking of Guidos, Mike the Situation Sorrentino is in prison and becoming friends with Fyre Festival founder Billy McFarland. Clearly, Mike has great taste in friends, as he is still friends with Ron, who he gets into more fights with over Ron's baby mama drama than the amount of time Ron cries over his baby mama drama. Kim Kardashian did 73 questions with Vogue in which she mentions law school. Kim then posted on Instagram about her journey to becoming a lawyer. Someone told her to stay in her lane. However, Kim doesn't really seem to have a lane, as she has gone from adult film star to makeup mogul to fashion icon and now law professional, plus her job of making sure Kanye doesn't cheat on her with Trump. That's all I have for today. Thank you, and back to you, Collin and Asad.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well, that wraps up this edition of The Weekend Experience.
For Collin Taylor, Patrick Cabahug, Lindsay Gorsen, and Matthew Daly, I'm Asad Bakari. Have a great night.